I'm Dana Denha, and you're watching FYI. Ann Arbor's bicentennial year is the toast of the town, and to make a lasting impression on the city for generations to come, a well-known park has a new name and a facelift in its future.
So this park will be enjoyed by children from all walks of life.
We are officially renaming Southeast Area Park to Bicentennial Park. And it's named in commemoration of our city's 200th anniversary and really symbolizes our values and where we want to go in the future, which is to be a more inclusive city for all.
It's a very underutilized park. There's a lot of space. It's an area that could use some reinvestment in the community. It's a gateway in that southeast corner of the city.
The bicentennial anniversary has really been a celebration of how far we've come and where we want to go in the future, which is we want to create a future in Ann Arbor where no one is left behind. It's more inclusive, where everyone can have an exceptional life here. And this park really symbolizes that.
We'll be putting in the city's first splash pad. It's going to be a universally accessible splash pad, a new playground structure. We will be renovating the pavilion. We'll be renovating the restrooms here. We will also be looking to pave all of the parking lots, all of the walkways to make this truly an accessible park.
But we still need $1 million to just get the splash pad built. And until we can do that, we can't put shovels in the ground, unfortunately.
I think this is going to become one of the gems of the park system.
Imagine yourself being part of the legacy of a park that children are able to enjoy for years to come.
Stay tuned, and we'll be back with more in exactly 30 seconds. Ann Arbor is a place dedicated to the future, a future for every person regardless of sexual orientation. Year after year, the city hosts a party to support the LGBTQ+ community. Watch last year's celebration and stop by the 2024 Pride on August 3rd, all day in the downtown.
Ann Arbor Pride, just a day where we all get to come together, celebrate ourselves, be our true, genuine selves, perform, just feel like a whole family, like a whole unity of people.
Pride is a celebration. Pride is a protest. Pride is community.
I think it's important to celebrate who we are and to accept everyone as we are. And that's something that I think this country has forgotten.
In a world where it's hard to find true love, I think it's important that we embrace and allow everyone to love who they want.
This isn't a choice. We were born like this, and we're not stopping. We're not gonna censor ourselves. We're not gonna hide. We're done. We're done. We're just love wins.
Pride becomes a space where you can dress how you want to dress. You can present how you want to present. You can explore and learn about others and connect with others that are different than you. I think the LGBTQ+ community has an immense amount of diversity that we can use to only strengthen the work that we're doing together.
When I say human, I think of anyone who is a Homo sapien, and that we need to be accepting of whatever form and shape that takes.
When you think about the core message around advocacy, education, and community development, it's really around acceptance and love. And we need people to do that. We need people different than us to participate in that. And so whether you just stumble upon Pride because you happen to be in downtown Ann Arbor, or you come here intentionally, I hope it's an experience for everyone.
The weather is right to get on a bike, but before those feet hit the pedals, learn about bike maintenance in this month's City Roundup in 60.
Hello, I'm Doug Martell with the Ann Arbor Police Department. We're going to talk about a pre-check on your bikes. I call it the ABC. You're getting ready to dust your bikes off for the season. So A is for air. Make sure that your tires are properly inflated, that you have good tread on your tires. B for brakes. You want to make sure that your brakes are working properly, because if you're going, you're going to need to stop at some point. So make sure that your brakes are working properly. If you need help with those, I'm sure your local bike shop will help you out. And C is for chain. You need to have a chain that's working well, that's not rusty and corroded. So make sure that your chain is working. If it's rusty and it doesn't look like it's going to take any lube, your local bike shop can help you out getting the right length of chain for you. Thanks for watching. Please ride safely. Enjoy the ride.
The human body can do amazing things, but it also needs to be cared for with proper health and nutrition. The body will inform you of injury or illness, but it's up to us to listen. The healers at 7 Notes Natural Health offer holistic medicine in many forms. Joining me is Rob Meyer-Kukan, owner and body worker at 7 Notes Natural Health. Welcome back to the show, Rob.
Hi there, Dana. Thanks for having me.
I'd like to first talk to you about your personal experience with holistic medicine and how it obviously changed your life and led you to where you are today.
Yeah, so I started very early being, a super inquisitive child. And I was always very inquisitive with my doctor's appointments and even just regular routine things, and would always ask, the annoying 2 or 3-year-old question of why. Like, why are we doing that? Why are we doing this? And one of the things that, for whatever reason, whether it's just something that was innately part of my curious nature or something I picked up along the way, I don't know that I was necessarily taught it so much, is that I always wanted to understand the root cause. So if I got this cold, what was the root cause? And then how could we avoid that again? Or if I had this condition going on, or if I found out a family member had something, it's like, well, what caused that? And I think that interest, that curiosity really formed my interest in natural health and in wellness. And so I think that's kind of where it came from.
Yeah, it's interesting to, once you're a grown up, to think back about the way you were when you were your younger self and how it did sort of create the person that you are and like your career path or, like you'll read, I've read something about like how your name affects what your career could be. And like
Oh,
that
for sure.
stuff is sort of true. It really is.
Mhm.
There's something to it.
Yeah. I remember once being in West Virginia, where my mother was from, visiting my grandparents. And either me or my sister, I can't remember which one of us, had either a burn or a scrape or something. And my grandmother went out into the lawn and picked a bunch of weeds, we thought, and, mashed them up and wrapped them around whatever was with her hanky. And that was what we did. And I just remember being fascinated, like, wow, that healed really quickly. There must be something to this. And so I think, that's probably, if I were to maybe pinpoint one experience, that would be a pivotal one there too.
Yeah, that totally makes complete sense because you were like, this isn't what you would think of as Western medicine, but it was something that worked really quickly and easily. And I think grandparents are great for this kind of stuff because they came from a different generation and they had to come up with different things to heal things because there wasn't always medicine available.
Absolutely.
Where can you tell us about the name 7 Notes Natural Health and your inspiration behind that?
Sure. So I was taking some classes in naturopathy, and part of our these weekend classes that we would do was an earlier Friday afternoon before class started. We'd have a study session, and part of that study session always had to do with business building and just questions for folks about establishing an LLC, or do I file as an S corp, and all of this type of stuff. So it would run the gamut, and I had established my business as the Healthy Musician Institute. We originally started that way, focusing with performing artists and specifically with performers who had repetitive strain injuries. And I realized that that niche was probably a little too narrow, and my interests were growing and my clientele was growing. And I could have stayed that name, but I felt an urge to change. And I was really drawn to the 7-point star that we used in my logo and the image of that. And I went through all sorts of different iterations of, like, the 7 stars of the constellation, or the stars of something. And I was thinking about stars and something out in the constellations or something like that. And I took it to this group at school and asked, well, what do you guys think? And we kind of workshopped it around. And I remember one of my classmates was at the end of the table, and he just very bluntly looked down at the other end of the table where I was sitting and said, "You're a musician, right?" And I said, "Yeah." He goes, "7 notes, natural health." And the entire room just sort of took this like gasp of air and just looked at each other like, that is kind of the coolest name. And our mentor and teacher was like, "I absolutely love that. And your slogan should be where you hear, see, and feel true wellness." And that's how 7 Notes Natural Health came to be. And, there's 7 days in a week, 7 colors of the rainbow, 7 chakras in the chakra system, and all sorts of other sevens that we find. 7 notes in a musical scale, so that made that tie to the musical background that I have. So yeah, that's where 7 notes came from.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense why so many people are drawn to the number 7,
Oh,
like
for
that's their
sure.
favorite number, 7. So yeah, that actually makes a ton of sense.
Mhm.
You have a lot of services available at 7 Notes Natural Health. What is your favorite and why?
Oh gosh. I mean, it's kind of like asking a parent or grandparent who their favorite kid or grandkid is, right? And a
You
lot
got
of
a
people
little
will,
inclination.
a lot of people will ask me this at a sound bath, like, what's your favorite singing bowl, or what's your favorite
Mhm.
instrument? And maybe I'm showing my hand there, but if I were to say, I mean, I love holding space in massage sessions. I love Reiki sessions, one-on-one sessions, natural health consulting, doing those types of things. But I really love sound therapy. It's the perfect marriage of my desire to help other people with my love and interest of music, sound, and frequency. And I may have even told the story that I was from when I was a kid, the last time you and I had a conversation about playing with the stereo in the back of our family living room. And so it's just always been a part of my life, from early musical training to college and early career, and teaching piano lessons for 29 years, and working in churches and schools. And so the short answer is sound therapy.
I had a feeling that was going to be your choice. Can you talk about how sound therapy can benefit people, though? Because I think that is one of those things where people can think like, I don't know if it really does anything, but
Yeah.
it's
So,
important to talk about how it can help.
right. And so what the easiest way to describe it is to hearken to a lot of other sort of modalities that people are really familiar with: chiropractic, homeopathy, those types of things, and craniosacral therapy is another one. All of those therapies have a common theme, which is the body has an intelligence that it can heal itself. The thing that is key to that healing is that it has to be in a state that is conducive to healing. And sound therapy is like opening the door to that. It opens the door to being an environment where your body can heal. It makes you in a state that's more relaxed. It makes you in a state that's more open. It makes you in a state that is more curious about how to go about something. And that's so many times the response that I get from folks is, wow, that was a really challenging sound bath for me. That's something I really need to work on. And I'm more curious about this and my heart's more open. Or, man, I was so relaxed about during that time. And so that's the beginnings of it, really. And then from there, it's just the journey. It's being on the journey and finding then the right things for doing what you need to do.
Yeah, I can see how you could really get into that relaxed state. I mean, I've experienced you doing working with your bowls in front of me, and I can see like if you were to really just sit there and take it in and just like close your eyes and just be part of it, and it really would do some positive impact on a lot of people.
Absolutely.
One of the things we had been talking on and off a little bit, and one of the things that you're doing this summer are these labyrinth walks. Can you tell me about a labyrinth walk and what happens during it?
Sure. So we say that a labyrinth is a place where you can experience a curious mind and an open heart. It's a place to quiet your mind, but it's also a place of deep connection, which is something that we're learning as we go along the path here. Not to belabor the metaphor, but a labyrinth is oftentimes confused with a maze, whereas a maze has multiple paths, multiple entrances. It has dead ends or starts and stops. A labyrinth has only one path that takes you to one place, the center. And it is that same path that leads you in that you follow on your way out. And so it is a meditative tool. It is a mind quieting tool, a heart opening tool. But as I said and alluded to earlier, it's also a place of deep connection. There was just recently published a paper from Baylor University that just completed a 3-year longitudinal study that talked about what are the benefits of labyrinth walking. And one of the things that they said that they found was, regardless of the setting, is that people felt connected with other people when they were walking the labyrinth. So particularly in this time of post-COVID life, as we're still sort of sorting through and figuring out what all of this means and reconnecting with friends and family and making new friends, it's a fabulous tool for building that connection in the community. So a labyrinth walk generally starts with a short presentation. Sometimes it looks like an informative talk about what is a labyrinth, where did it come from, that type of a thing, some history and background. Oftentimes we'll include a little bit of that. Many times we include a guided meditation to help sort of center your mind and kind of bring everyone into focus together. And then we all walk the labyrinth. It's kind of this really fascinating thing that happens just regardless of the size of the group. We sort of queue up in a line and everyone kind of walks at their own pace. Some folks are walking faster than others. Some folks are walking sooner than others. And when we're done, then we come together, we do a brief time of sharing, and then kind of move on with our day from there, which is a pretty neat experience to see everyone sort of dispersing, going into the world again, taking the experience of what happened on that labyrinth walk with them.
Where is the labyrinth, or are there multiple ones that you visit?
So we are very blessed in Ann Arbor. If you put a pin down in Ann Arbor, where I'm located in the 48104, and do a search on the Worldwide Labyrinth Locator, believe it or not, there's a website dedicated just
I had no
to
idea.
yeah, so there's a whole so there are over I might not get this right, I think there are over 3,000 labyrinths posted on this website worldwide, and it's sort of the yellow pages of labyrinths. But if you put a pin down in 48104, there are almost 12 labyrinths within a 25-mile radius. So everywhere from the Arboretum to, nope, not the Arboretum. The Mathai Botanical Gardens has a labyrinth. Trinity St. Joe's, or what we always used to call St. Joe's Hospital in Ipsy, has a labyrinth. A lot of churches have labyrinths. So there's several labyrinths at churches around in Chelsea and in Dexter. EHM Senior Solutions out in Saline has a really gorgeous labyrinth that we're going to be doing a lot of events at coming up. So they're kind of all around. You find them in the metro parks, you find them privately as well. So yeah.
You know, my brother-in-law, he no longer lives in the house, but he bought a house in Ann Arbor maybe 15 years ago, and there was a moss labyrinth in the backyard. And I didn't know what the purpose of but now I understand. I get it now. I actually walked it and stuff because I was like, well, this thing's really neat, but I didn't understand what they were used for.
Mm-hmm.
So,
well, and you find labyrinths in a variety of different mediums, I guess is a good way to sort of describe it. They can be gravel or wood chips or moss. They can be mown into the grass. They can be more formal, made out of brick pavers, or they can be printed on canvas or painted on canvas that are sort of portable. We call those portable or canvas labyrinths. We actually, at Seven Notes, we have 3 portable labyrinths that we take to different places. So yeah, it's really fascinating.
yeah, it's a world I didn't know anything about, but it obviously goes pretty deep.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you want to talk about, we don't have a ton of time left, but if you want to talk about some of the services that you offer other than the ones we obviously already mentioned, like your sound bath and the labyrinth walk and stuff, but you mentioned Reiki and like your different massages, but if you want to talk about services and the benefits of them, that would be great.
Yeah, so some of the other services that we haven't already mentioned are reflexology, foot and hand reflexology, and craniosacral therapy. We also offer infrared sauna sessions, and then natural health consultations, which I sort of mentioned a little bit earlier. And again, all of those are focused at and designed to help you to, as we say, hear, see, and feel true wellness. What I love about the variety of things that have sort of come to be in our practice is that a lot of them are really easily integrated into one session. So we may start with a little bit of Reiki, do a longer bit with some massage, and then end with some sound therapy. So one of my favorite things to do really is to integrate and to incorporate a variety of different offerings into one session. So I think that that's something unique that we offer as well.
I agree. And I really like that about what you do at Seven Notes Natural Health, because I think a lot of times, and we've discussed this in the past, you don't know the best method to make your body feel better. And sometimes your body's just telling you, oh God, this hurts all the time, or this is really bothering me. And I think you and I can attest, after you hit 40, I'm assuming you're over 40, I don't know for sure.
Yes.
But your body starts telling you more stuff the older you get. Like you mentioned, like
Absolutely.
your hands and feet. Like I notice like my wrist, like it'll crack more often now that I'm older. And I'm like, why is my wrist doing this? And it'll be things like that where instead of just sitting and like just letting it be and living with it, you come to Seven Notes Natural Health, have a consultation. You could help in multiple ways. You have no idea what is going to be that thing that really helps you with your wellness.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And that's that keying into that curiosity. And I think that's key for all of us on this journey of life, is to have a curious mind and an open heart. Can't miss.
Well, if you want to just mention where you're at and why people should come visit your website and come see you at Seven Notes Natural Health, because you are a little tucked in the back a little. It's not easily seen from the road.
Yeah, we are located in the Packard office complex at 3830 Packard, right at Packard and US 23. If you're heading from Ann Arbor towards Ipsy, just before you cross over into Ipsy there at Carpenter. We are sort of back into the complex. Thankfully, they put big numbers on the buildings.
It's pretty easy to find, yeah, once you get back there.
Yep, we're in building 3830, and a lot of people use the Gentle Dental or the Cat Clinic as sort of a landmark to find us. And we're here Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and the second Saturday of every month, offering massage, Reiki, sound therapy. and all the other things we've talked about, plus offering sound baths first Friday of the month. And then now, most recently, we've added daytime sound baths for those who can't get away in the evenings or want to take advantage of having some daytime availability. We're taking a little hiatus for the summer because it's summer, but we'll be offering those again in the fall and in the winter and spring next year as well. So.
And so if you go on the website, all the events and everything are listed on the website and all the services available.
Absolutely, yes. And our website is 7notesnaturalhealth.com, the number 7, notesnaturalhealth.com. And if you click on our events tab, that's where you can learn about all of our things from sound baths to labyrinth walks and other offerings, as well as then clicking on our offerings tab to find out about our modalities that we offer in office as well.
Yeah, I think the events are a great segue into learning about this stuff, and then you can get deeper into it.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you so much, Rob. It was always a great conversation with you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
For more on this and other programs, visit a2gov.org/CTN. Visit youtube.com/CTN Ann Arbor to see all that we have to offer. Remember to like, subscribe, and ring that notification. Thanks for watching and tune in next time to FYI.